If you're anything like me, you've considered running double days, whether that's squeezing in an extra 30-minute run to start the day before your usual run in the evening, splitting your long runs into two, or maybe you've even flirted with the idea of doing double threshold sessions. As a runner, a coach, and a sports scientist, I've experienced double days from every angle, and I'm yet to see them implemented successfully by everyday runners like you. That's not to say that they're not effective, it's just that most runners are thinking about doubles in the wrong way. So let's break down how double runs make you a better runner, why you probably shouldn't bother, and the practical advice for maximizing doubles if you fit into the cohort that would actually benefit from running more than once a day. When we're thinking about running double days, we need to ask ourselves some important questions. Why am I doing them? When am I going to do them? How am I going to do them? And how long am I going to do them for? First up, let's see what the research says. Doubles don't outperform singles when the load is matched. So that would be 60 minutes once or 30 minutes twice, or running every day versus running twice every other day. The load is the same. So there are two sides to this coin. To optimize your doubles, you need to increase your training volume. Rather than just going 60 minutes into 230s, you'd want to go into 245s or 40s. Conversely, if you can't handle a 2-hour run or you don't have time for a 2-hour run, then 2 1-hour runs appear to elicit the same physiological response. Now, there's a big caveat here, which I'll get into later in the video. But if we're using doubles, we need to run more. And if we're going to run more, we need to recover more. Why most pros run doubles and sometimes even triples is that it increases the frequency of the stimulus and increases their daily training load, more than they could get out of a single run. Think of it like a big interval session. But those two things aren't necessarily good attributes for weekend warriors like you, because more running reduces your ability to recover from each run. Micro tears in the muscle, bone stress, functional protein turnover, hormonal disequilibria, all are elevated after a single run, and therefore it compounds when we run again within the same day. Pro runners can recover between sessions. They have time to eat the right things in the right quantities. They have time to relax. They have time to metabolize both catabolically and anabolically, which is a fancy way of saying breaking things down and then rebuilding them. If you're heading straight to the office with a coffee and a protein bar after your first run, having a sandwich at your desk for lunch, then heading out for another run before dinner, putting the kids to bed, checking some more work emails. Sorry, Steve, the only thing you're maximizing here is burnout. I've said it before, busy people make bad runners. You can't recover fast enough and you're often underfueled. I work with you guys every week and I know most of you are in the too busy category, which means doubles won't add anything to your running. They'll just keep you in a catabolic breaking down state for longer. But if you are out there chilling because the kids are left home or you just have a relaxed schedule, then let's discuss how you could implement doubles. No, that's not you, Steve. The most effective implementation of doubles is going to be a hard run in the morning and then an easy run at least 5 hours after in a carbohydrate depleted state. Before the feed.com filled your Instagram timeline with carbohydrate propaganda, researchers like myself showed that exercising in a carbohydrate depleted state can enhance the effectiveness of the training stimulus by improving the oxidative capacity of the mitochondria so that each one produces more ATP. The energy currency of the cell means we have more to spend on muscular contractions, we can run faster. Therefore, one of the benefits of doubles is that the second run is often completed with somewhat depleted glycogen stores, reducing carbohydrate availability. And this is why it's advisable for the first session to be harder to deplete glycogen further, but it's worth clarifying that I'm saying carbohydrate depletion, not calorie deficit. There's a difference and you still need to fuel appropriately with appropriate amounts of energy. You can get the benefit of carbohydrate depleted runs while running singles, but it appears that it's additive effect of running the second run in a day in a carbohydrate depleted state. So there's more benefit from doing the twos than the ones in this scenario. So based off of the info I've outlined here, let's revisit those important questions I stated at the top of the video. Why am I doing them? If you're wanting to add doubles to increase your mileage, it's likely you're going to get more out of increasing an individual run because you'll get more time to recover effectively, therefore enhancing the ability to actually benefit from that run. If you can't run over 2 hours and you've been running or splitting your run into two is going to be as effective from a physiological standpoint, yes. But if you're trying to get the muscular conditioning you need for an ultramarathon or a marathon, then you still need to run over 2 hours. When am I going to do them? If you're running doubles, you want to pick a day where you have enough time for recovery so that you can maximize the benefit of the 2 runs in one day. How am I going to do them? The best implementation is going to be a hard quality run in the morning and then an easy quantity run in the afternoon or evening, at least 5 hours after the first run. How long am I going to do them for? If you were introducing doubles for the first time, it's worth giving yourself an experimental time frame, after which you can assess whether they were an effective addition to your training, which I'd suggest around 4 to 6 weeks. So now I'll just touch on my final comments and some notes around injury. The biggest impact to running injuries for experienced runners is a sudden large increase in a single run or chronic energy availability or underfueling. There hasn't been any research that I could find on doubles versus singles specifically, but doubles definitely reduce the risk of a one-off big jump and load, which makes them a good addition for something like a mini training camp or a big ultra marathon prep weekend. But again, it comes back to fueling appropriately and load tolerance. I would advise you to first assess whether you're adequately recovering from your current training load, and that's definitely something I can help with, so check the links in the description if you need my help interpreting your data. But if you're sitting there going, hey, wait, what about double threshold days? Well, then I suggest you check out this video where I break down double threshold days with my experience and my experimentation. Hope you enjoy this one and that one. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you next time.